If there's one truism in our industry, it's that the platform features keep changing, but the foundations of PPC stay the same. Or do they? This is PPC Zone November 2024, the new foundation for PPC success. I'm your host, Jyll Saskin Gales. I use the pronouns she and her. I'm a Google Ads coach, ex-Googler, and the founder of Inside Google Ads. I created PPC Zone in 2022 to elevate new perspectives and insights in our industry. Whether you're tuning in live, watching the replay on YouTube or LinkedIn, or listening in your podcast app, here's what you can expect. 3 speakers will share their expertise in a 7-minute presentation each. Then we'll answer your questions in a live panel and wrap it all up in under an hour. PPC Zone is exclusively sponsored by Optmyzr, one of the leading automation PPC management suites to help you run your Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and paid social ads. Thanks to Optmyzr, I can continue to bring you this live global event for free each month so we can continue to elevate new perspectives in our industry. If you want to use industry-leading tools like the PPC Investigator or Campaign Automator, start your free full functionality trial at optmyzr.com. That's Optmyzr, OPTMYZR.com. First up in the zone is the founder and lead strategist at Pooler Digital. With over a decade of experience managing high-budget campaigns across Google, Meta, and Bing, she's dedicated to empowering businesses through training, resources, and audits. Today, she's here to tell us about optimizing PPC campaigns with CRO to increase conversions. Please welcome Dii Pooler.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining PPC Zone today. I'm Dii Pooler, founder of Pooler Digital, a paid media specialist passionate about helping new marketers thrive in PPC. Today, I'm here to talk to you about something that's absolutely crucial for PPC success, conversion rate optimization, or CRO. I plan to do a quick overview of how to ensure your paid ads aren't just getting clicks, but converting into actual customers. So what exactly is conversion rate optimization? It's the process of optimizing your website and landing pages to encourage visitors to take a desired action, from clicking on your ad, landing on your website, and actually becoming a lead or customer. To do this effectively, think of CRO as guiding your users across a bridge. We need to understand user behavior, their intent, and their pain points. By creating a seamless experience, we can increase the likelihood of conversion. No matter what industry you're in or what your paid media goals are, a CRO strategy is necessary for PPC success. Now let's talk about some common CRO challenges. This is one of my favorite memes circulating on LinkedIn that I believe does a good job at getting the point across. Many businesses spend most of their time ensuring that their PPC campaigns are built effectively and forget how important it is to dedicate landing pages for different campaigns and different audiences. This meme gives you a good idea of what happens when you have a well-crafted campaign, but a landing page that isn't relevant or optimized. CRO success means avoiding common pitfalls like creating overly complex user journeys, neglecting slow loading pages, failing to tailor your content to your audience's unique needs, and all of these mishaps can significantly impact your marketing conversion rates. So now let's dive into 3 winning CRO strategies that can increase your likelihood of success. First, let's look at landing page optimization. Your headline should be attention-grabbing, clear, and resonate emotionally. For example, instead of a generic headline like software solutions, try something more compelling like software that helps your team convert leads. Consider personalizing your landing pages based on demographics, search intent, or user behavior. This creates a more relevant and engaging experience for your visitors. Once this is all done, you want to A/B test different variations to find out what works for your business. Number 2, use dynamic forms that adapt to your user input and prevent form fatigue. For example, if a user clicks on your ad regarding a product, adjust the form fields to gather relevant information for that specific product. Also, don't forget about page load speed either. Every second counts when someone is visiting your website. If your site takes too long, someone might just bounce off. Lastly, your CTA should be optimized. Use strong action verbs, create a sense of urgency, and make sure your buttons are visually prominent. For example, instead of a simple download now button, try get your free trial today. To quickly enhance conversions, think about implementing features like exit intent pop-ups to catch users before they leave. Make sure your product pages are clean and compelling, focusing on benefits and ease of navigation. And consider adding a live chat. That can also be a game changer and be a quick moneymaker for your business. Finally, always rely on data. It's a gold mine for identifying what's working and where you can improve. When measuring CRO impact, it's all about digging deeper than surface level metrics. Start by tracking conversions, but also think about what's driving those actions. What are users really thinking when they interact with your site? Focus on KPIs that truly align with your goals, like lead quality or average order value, rather than vanity metrics like clicks. And remember, just gathering this data isn't enough. You need to analyze it for insights that truly help guide your strategy. CRO is one of the most powerful revenue boosters out there, and even the most smallest tweaks can simplify and enhance your conversion rates. So, the key is making data driven decisions. Every change should be guided by insights and not guesswork. And most importantly, never stop experimenting. CRO is an ongoing process of testing, learning, and optimizing. And that's it. Thank you all for being here today and for sharing in my passion for paid media and conversion rate optimization. Before I leave, I want to dedicate this talk to my son. He inspires me every day to work harder and dream bigger. Everything I do is for him, and he's the reason why I'm here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dii, for sharing your unique perspective and insights with us in the zone. If you'd like to connect with Dii, you can find her on LinkedIn. And if you have a question, go ahead and type it into the chat if you're watching live on YouTube or LinkedIn right now, and we'll get to your questions during the upcoming live panel. PPC Zone is exclusively sponsored by Optmyzr, one of the leading automation PPC management suites to help you run your Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and paid social ads. Thanks to Optmyzr, I can continue to bring you this live global event for free each month so we can continue to elevate new perspectives in our industry. If you want to use industry-leading tools like the PPC Investigator or Campaign Automator, start your free full functionality trial at optmyzr.com. That's optmyzr.com. Next up in the zone, this speaker is the co-founder and head of AI and performance marketing at Second Banana Bunch. She has experience in SEO, SEM, and paid media channels with a strong focus in CRO, paid search, and YouTube. Today, she's sharing her perspective on generative AI for PPC. Please welcome Adrienne Shaver.
Hi, thank you, Jyll, and hello, everybody. So now that Jyll shared a little bit about me, I'd like to jump right into some of the topics that we're going to discuss today around generative AI. I always like to start new conversations about AI and how to use AI by just kind of going over what the role of AI is alongside our human component. So, I like to let people know that there is really an advantage when we collaborate with AI. It's a very powerful tool that can really help automate a lot of those data-heavy tasks that we have on our plates as PPC managers, if we're willing to just share some of our domain expertise and our data with it. It is not a magic solution. It's not going to give you everything perfectly the first time. We are going to have to work with it, and it cannot function on its own. So our oversight is key for AI. And as we go along with our collaboration with AI, one thing to point out is that it will become a more reliable tool for you to have in your toolkit, as well as, be able to refine its outputs to get closer to what you need contextually over time. And you can take that into your strategic decision-making conversations with clients where AI can't go with you. So I view it as a colleague that you really just need to bring up to speed and share your processes with and data, and then that can amplify what you are doing and not replace you. So now that I have that little disclaimer out there, let's jump into why we're here, which is the 3 ways for using Gen AI and PPC. I'll slow down a bit. This is how I've used it, and hopefully that after you get these recipes, you can go forward and use it as well. So our first cocktail recipe, PPC cocktail recipe, is the persona pour. And this is really where you're going to bring AI into your processes that you can take your data from Google Ads and then Google Trends data as well. Blend that together over in ChatGPT. I have found the best model to use in ChatGPT for these very data-heavy tasks is GPT-4. It handles lots of analysis very easily. So you will need a more complex prompt structure to get what you want from it. So after you've uploaded your data files to it, you're going to need to put in a structured prompt to tell it what its goal is, how to achieve its goal, and what you want from it. If you're less familiar with prompting, there are some great tools. Claude AI has a prompt generator in their workbench. I believe Gemini has one as well. And I used one from the GPT store. They have these for free, and you can find prompt makers there that you can give more simplified prompts to on what you're trying to accomplish and get that complex prompt that you need to take over to ChatGPT. So once you have that prompt, you can just paste it in and get to work with AI. It will start by showing you what it's analyzing and build out those personas for you and map where they're at. By using this recipe, you can get those actionable insights more quickly and have a better idea of where your customers are at in their journey to find those drop-off points, behavior changes, and fill in the gaps and increase that retention as they go further in their journey with you. So our next recipe is around forecasting, bringing AI into our forecasting processes. A lot of us are in annual planning right now, where we are taking our historical campaign data, modeling it against different budget scenarios. So that's how I have used it. And you just go into your ads platform and grab your campaign data. Then, of course, I always like mixing in some Google Trends data in there. There's other data sources you could as well adjust this recipe with. And then if you just want to look at how your campaigns are going to perform against industry benchmarks for certain metrics like, click-through rate, CPC, conversions, conversion rate, and ROAS, you can upload that report as well with your data into ChatGPT, and you'll give it another complex prompt, but the gist of it is that you're going to want to tell it to base its analysis off the performance data that you're giving it, the Google Trends data, and the benchmarks and what metrics you're looking for to forecast those campaign performances. Some of us might have some rough numbers, so you could even take it a step further and say, do this across my 3 budget scenarios of low, mid, and high, and input some rough numbers for it to work with. So you can see where the campaign performance is going to go given a certain budget, and also set more realistic goals with your key stakeholders on what you can achieve with each budget scenario for your primary conversion actions that you have set up in Google Ads, whether it be app submits or credit card signups, whatever industry you're in. So it's a very cool recipe. And with this, you can model those performance scenarios, get ahead of seasonal trends, behavioral changes, and like I said, set some realistic expectations for the new year. But our last recipe is mixing up our daily PPC management by having AI help us with scripts. Scripts is something that I always felt was just a little bit too techy for me. I understand some base code from my SEO days, but I'm not a very techy person. So I thought, why not give ChatGPT a shot at this? So I didn't just use its model. I did go to the GPT store and find a script helper that's specific to PPC industry. So it can produce a lot of different scripts like budget pacing, performance tracking, whatever we need to look at on a daily basis, it can produce that script. The secondary benefit of using AI to produce this script is that as it was putting out a code script for me, I could go line by line and start to ask it, what are you asking here? Where are you fetching data from? What inputs do you need and why? And so I'm learning the language of the code as I'm having it help me build a script that can be useful to me in my PPC management. So once I got a code, I went over to Google Ads and uploaded that or pasted it right into the box there. And with a little bit of back and forth, I did get some error messages, which I then took back to my GPT agent and had it debug in real time, tell me what this error message is and how to resolve it. And that way I know how to avoid it in the future in future scripts. So with a little bit of tweaking, I was able to get that finished successfully message. And now I can automate a lot of that PPC management that happens daily for my clients. And this really, I also let it know that I want the scripts to deliver the report in a Google Sheet, which I set up, and to have it emailed to me. So every morning I can start my day off with actual insights to get started and start the day off right. So I hope that you will take those recipes and maybe become more curious and add your own insights on what your processes are to really get the results that can be super helpful and time saving in a lot of these data heavy tasks. But some other ways to bring AI closer into our world and some of the ways that I did it, I've been playing with it for almost 3 years now. And so I started keeping lists of friction points in my day, gripes, daily activities that take a lot of time, bottlenecks, label it AI or not, and then review it at the end of each week when you have time and start to research how large language models like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini can help resolve these, or specific tools you may need. If that's market research, Craft is a great tool for that. So have fun and play around with it. Remember to collaborate with AI. Do not try to delegate entirely, and start with your own knowledge. If you'd like to talk more about anything you heard today or AI or PPC in general, you can find me on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adrienne, for sharing your unique perspective and insights with us in the Zone. If you'd like to connect with Adrienne, you can find her on LinkedIn. And if you have a question, go ahead and type it into the chat if you're watching live on YouTube or LinkedIn right now, and we'll get to your questions during the live upcoming panel. If you're just tuning in, PPC Zone is exclusively sponsored by Optmyzr, one of the leading automation PPC management suites to help you run your Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and paid social ads. Thanks to Optmyzr, I can continue to bring you this live global event for free each month so we can continue to elevate new perspectives in our industry. If you want to use industry-leading tools like the PPC Investigator or Campaign Automator, start your free full functionality trial at optmyzr.com. That's optmyzr.com. Our final speaker in the Zone today is a digital marketing specialist who is big on ethical and consent-based marketing. They have worked in the digital marketing industry since 2011, are a lifelong learner and passionate mentor to online business owners. We're about to hear them explain how to look holistically at your online presence for marketing success. Please welcome Lou Kozlevcar.
Hey, I am so very pleased to be here. So today I would like to talk about the holistic picture of your online marketing space. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I encounter prospective Google Ads partners who are maybe narrowly focused on just the Google Ads. And I would like to explain why it's important to look at the whole picture of what's going on in your space online to get the best results you can possibly get from your Google Ads. So one really important thing that I want to explain here and make sure that anyone working with a Google Ads partner or even anyone working in the industry, what you need to understand, and one thing that people in the industry seem to not be up to speed with, is that getting found on Google is not just about who can pay the most and who can target the best keywords. And so back in the days when Google Ads was called Google AdWords, this may have been what people were thinking about when they were thinking about how to do Google Ads the best, paying the most and thinking about whether or not I'm paying the most money, and being in the top spot is the best thing you can do. Paying the most money to be in the top spot is the best thing to do. There's more to it than that, and I'm going to talk about why we need to focus on these things. So the thing that digital specialists and PPC marketers sometimes forget is how important PPC and SEO work together. So like I said, it's not just about who can pay the most and who can target the hottest keywords. The SEO that you do or don't do on your website influences how high you appear in search results. So even though some people might be paying to be in Google search results and some aren't, Google still wants those pages to be important and informative and helpful to people. So you can't bypass doing SEO or not optimizing your website for usability just by paying for spots. Because if people kind of put junky and poorly put together web pages in Google Ads, then people are not going to want to use Google anymore. And so one very clear example you can see that can tell you how well you're doing or not doing in your the quality of your page in Google Ads is in the quality score, especially in landing page experience. This is an indicator to you from Google as to whether or not your page is actually good quality enough to appear in those hotly contested top advertising spots on search result pages. So, as I explained just a moment ago, anything you do to improve the SEO on your page and how relevant your page is and how user-friendly and how attractive that is to the end user, that's going to affect whether or not you show up in those top results on Google Ads and how high you appear. Because even if you are paying the most, someone with a better quality and more relevant page can still show up above you in those top results. What else do I mean by looking holistically at your online marketing? Well, I thought I'd put this phrase in here. How you do one thing is how you do everything. It's also important to look at how you appear everywhere else online, because in today's online landscape, a customer might meet your business for the first time in Google, or they might meet you for the first time in a social media post, and they're going to see you in all these different places before they may be ready to buy from you or engage in your services. So this is why it's important to be congruent in how you show up in all these different online spaces, and be mindful that even though a Google ad click might lead someone directly to your website, They may or may not need to see you a few more times until they're ready to buy. They may or may not have seen you already in a social media post or offline somewhere. And so those decisions are going to influence whether or not they're going to be hotly interested in buying from you or not. So we need to make sure that we're congruent everywhere we're speaking about our businesses. We need to be congruent in what our Google Ads says and what the landing page, the website that we send people to, what that says. And so if we can keep all that in mind and make sure that we're getting the person and keeping their attention from not just that click, but following through in their actions on your website, that'll set us up for better success. And my last bullet point there, we need to look at what works on one channel and also apply that to another. So what this can look like, more so in the space of social media ads, if we see something that's working really well in an organic social media post, why not use that to influence a Facebook ad and how we design that? Also take note of what kind of queries are performing well in organic SEO. Maybe some of those things could also be helpful in designing our Google ads. Thank you. This is all that I've got to share with you in this presentation. And if you would like to ask me some questions or chat about any of these concepts, please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Thank you, Lou, for sharing your unique perspective and insights with us in the Zone. If you'd like to connect with them on LinkedIn, you can find them on LinkedIn. And if you have a question, go ahead and type it into the chat if you're watching live on YouTube or LinkedIn right now, as we're about to get started with our live panel. Let's bring all of our speakers back on stage now. This is PPC Zone November 2024, the new foundation for PPC success. I'm your host, Jyll Saskin Gales. I'm a Google Ads coach, ex-Googler, and the founder of Inside Google Ads. I created this event to elevate new perspectives and insights in our industry. I'm here with Dii Pooler, founder and lead strategist who just spoke about CRO for PPC. I'm here with Adrienne Shaver, founder and head of AI and performance marketing, who just spoke about generative AI for PPC. And I'm here with Lou Kozlevcar, digital marketing specialist, who just spoke about holistic marketing. Thank you once again to our exclusive sponsor, Optmyzr, one of the leading automation PPC management suites to help you run your Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and paid social ads. Well, everyone, all three of you spoke about something outside of Google Ads that really influences what happens in Google Ads. For Dii, that was CRO. For Lou, that was SEO. And then for Adrienne, that was AI tools to help you with performance and reporting. So I'd love to hear from each of you. Other than the main topic you spoke about today, what's something else that you have found really impacts your clients' Google Ads results that comes from outside the platform? Why don't we start with Dii?
Thank you. Absolutely. So I would definitely say understanding a customer's psychology and sociology. So being able to think like the customer. I feel like as experts, sometimes we try to resonate with other experts and forget to tailor our ads to people who we're trying to sell to at the end of the day. So definitely.
Focus on the user. I see a lot of head nods here. Yes. Adrienne, what about you? What have you found really impacts results other than, of course, using AI to help?
Yeah, absolutely. So, love Dia's point there too about keeping audiences front and center and taking that information, but also your CRM is like a data mining. It has so much in there. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but one of the things that I would do with clients early on is in their CRMs, they would record calls. We could go through that and see how once they came offline, what were some of the things that were affecting how they converted and how could we better address that online? Yeah, so I would say, really digging into the data that your CRM has and looking to see what insights you can glean and take back into the platforms with you.
Gotta love that first-party customer data.
Yeah.
What about you, Lou? What have you found?
Yeah, those are all some really good points. I think I would bring all of that together and say, make sure that however you're engaging with your user on your website, in most cases, that's like a lead capture form. So make sure that, that's a frictionless experience, and it's also capturing the data that exactly what you need. Yeah. And learn from that. And because sometimes I find that if you're speaking to, somebody's made an appointment, let's say, and they've come in, they might not remember how they came to you. So yeah, make sure that however you're capturing that initial data is set up so that you know what's going on as best you can.
Absolutely. And now I know we all work in Google Ads here, and if there's one constant in Google Ads, it is change. There have been lots of platform changes, which of course changes the way we all have to do our jobs. So I would love to hear from each of you, what is something that's changed in Google Ads this year that's really had an impact on you, or something you've had to change this year in the way you approach Google Ads? Can we start with you this time, Lou?
Yeah, well, like I just said, I'm finding myself having to reinforce this idea of making a really good destination page to send our clicks to, because I'm finding that I used to be very against using broad match keywords, but now that seems to be the way things are going, and also letting the algorithm drive who our ads get shown to. That's also happening on Facebook too, by the way. But yeah, so we need to prepare ourselves and set up our strategy with this in mind. So we let the Google go nice and loose with our broad match keywords, go and find whoever, and then use our website, our landing pages to filter out and filter in the exact right leads and prospects that we want.
Got it. And what about you, Dee? Something that's changed for you this year?
Yeah, I didn't care too much for the new Google interface. I felt like I kept running into kind of dead ends and pitfalls. I resisted that change for quite a bit. So once that was released, that's when I started to get acclimated to it. So that's the only real change that I struggled with. I've always been using broad match keywords and kind of mixing them with exact match keywords and working on consolidating the campaigns. But that new interface got me.
I know. We can all relate to that one for sure. What about you, Adrienne? What's really changed for you this year?
Yeah, well, besides what we've talked about here, the level that automation and AI infusion is happening in the Google Ads platform, and really finding that balance of where I can still kind of put those guardrails in, but letting it also not restricting it, because it needs to go. It needs all of that audience and different data signals to guide it, and lead values if we're going to target ROAS. There's so many bid options that were not there when I started. It was a lot of manual. So it's been a journey with the automated bidding and finding how that can work and when it's appropriate for each bid strategy, and how to guide it with lead values, or, where's my role alongside Google as it becomes more AI automated. So.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of AI automated, I know you, of course, spoke about a lot of Google Ads use cases, but I know in my business, there are so many different ways I'm using AI to assist me. For example, repurposing content is one way that I've been using AI a lot. So I'm curious, since I know you're all business owners as well, if you could share a way that you're using AI in your business, if at all, whether it's related to Google Ads or other aspects of your business. So maybe we'll start with you, Adrienne. What's another way you're using AI in your business?
Yeah, so I am still in the building phase of my agency. I still freelance, and I have other partners, and we knew we wanted to be AI forward from the start. So I know a lot about marketing and Google Ads. I don't know a lot about business structures and things like that, or contracts. So I have really helped it in our I've used it and brought it in our project management to build out templates of workflows that we have, but also in building the business, understanding Conjum GPT that's legally trained and run it by a lawyer friend of mine to build out my contracts and communication templates. It's something that you have to, because that's outside my domain expertise, I wanted to have someone with that domain expertise still fact check it, because we don't want to be using AI for things we don't know about. But yeah, I use a lot of AI platforms like Notion. I'm starting to look into it for the brand activation portion of content generation and how I can keep my authentic voice in it without it like going crazy. So
Definitely. So, an embracing AI and AI forward mentality. And how about you, Lou? Is AI something you're really embracing in your business or not as much? Tell us about that.
No, not as much as yet. So one thing that I'm sure most people notice about AI is that there tends to be a lot of opinions around AI when it comes to generated content and stuff that the end user sees. And I am, at the moment, not really into that, especially when it comes to generating ad copy. I've not been impressed by the ad copy that's generated either by Google or other platforms. So I still have to, manually write up ad copy when it's needed. But yeah, I think I use it very minimally in instances where I need to repurpose or reformat content. Usually that's when, say, I want to voice type or record a transcript and it's missing punctuation and stuff like that and headings. I might just say, hey, just add some punctuation and headings to make this make sense. That's the extent that I'm using it right now.
Got it. And what about you, Dee? Are there different ways you're using AI in your business or not using it so much?
Oh, I definitely am using AI. And outside of ad copy, I am using chat GPTs. There's a PPC GPT by Thomas Excel. That's a PPC support and strategic advice campaign that you can use. And it gives you good feedback on campaigns. It gives you good feedback on ad copy. And then you can also kind of use Thomas as a sounding board to get advice on how that GPT is working. But I love AI. I think it's very helpful as long as you know how to train the AI. I'm giving it resources from other websites to analyze so that it can then use that to give you the best type of humanized feedback. But I love AI. It's been very helpful in my business so far.
And it's a good point that you all brought up in some way, that it's all about what you bring to the AI that determines whether it's going to be useful or helpful or not. So really great perspective to share. Well, thank you again so much for joining us at PPC Zone today. Thank you to Dee, Adrienne, Lou, Optmyzr, and you for watching. Our next event is going to be on December 3rd, 2024 at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. GMT. The theme is In PPC We Trust, featuring speakers Abby Nelson, Andy Cooney, and Amit Kabra. We look forward to seeing you there on YouTube and LinkedIn in December. To learn more about PPC Zone and our speakers, or to apply to speak at an upcoming event, visit ppc.zone. I'm your host, Jyll Saskin Gales. You can follow me on LinkedIn to stay up to date on future events. Thank you one more time to Optmyzr, our exclusive sponsor, for supporting our mission to elevate new perspectives and insights in our industry. I look forward to seeing you next time in the Zone.